Hey, it's James. Welcome back to the channel. I am the unofficial mayor of Cowboy Country, and I am so glad you are here. We are going to cover Week 13's picks. There's a lot of big games here to cover that are going to affect the college football playoff and will affect whether or not Oklahoma State makes it to the Big 12 championship or not. So let's get right to it. Friday, which is tomorrow, TCU plays at OU. I like TCU's new quarterback. I'm also impressed with OU's new quarterback, but he's literally never started a game until last week. So, I'm going to go with the Sooners just because it's in Norman. I have a funny feeling, they're probably going to run the ball a little bit more just to ease the pressure off of their new quarterback. Tech is at Texas. I know that Texas has lost their running back for the year, but in their case, you don't rebuild, you reload. And so I'm anticipating the Longhorns will win tomorrow. Houston at UCF. Will admit I have a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth from what happened in Orlando with Oklahoma State at UCF. But the truth is, that's a good football team. And UCF has got not only a good quarterback, but a good running back. They're going to win. They're going to get to 6-6, and they're going to a bowl game. I don't think Malzahn will be there in 2 years, but that's a different story in a different video. BYU is at Oklahoma State. BYU still doesn't have their starting quarterback. And I believe the Cowboys recognize the fact that they've got to win if they want any chance to go to Arlington. If they win, they should have the tiebreaker over OU and Kansas State. So I'm picking the Cowboys. West Virginia is at Baylor. West Virginia looks pretty good. Garrett Green has been playing well. And Baylor has yet to find a quarterback that can step up. So I'm going with the Mountaineers. KU is at Cincinnati. I'm going with KU. I know that Bean is out. But the folks in Lawrence have found a way to make it happen, even with all these injuries that they've had. They've managed to play well. Even in the loss last week to Kansas State, KU played really well. So I'm going to go with the Jayhawks on that one. Iowa State at Kansas State. This is known in the Big 12 as Barnumonium. And it's a really good game. They're both two really good teams. God rest his soul. Golden Blue Dude used to say if it was a 50-50 game, you pick the home team, and so therefore I'm picking Kansas State. A couple games where you have ACC playing SEC. Clemson's at South Carolina. Clemson's playing well. They're playing much better than they did earlier in the year, so I'm going with Clemson. North Carolina is playing North Carolina State. I still think North Carolina's quarterback is really good, so I'm going to go with the Tar Heels. Florida State is playing at Florida. I know Florida has been down this year, but this game is at the Swamp, and I'm going to pick the upset. I'm going to pick Florida. I've had some success here lately as far as my picks are concerned, so I guess I'm willing to take a chance. Kentucky's at Louisville. I'm very impressed with what Mark Stoops has done at Kentucky, but Louisville's played really well this year, And this is also a 50-50 game, so I'm going to go with Louisville. In the Big Ten, the Ohio State Buckeyes are playing in the Big House at Michigan, and no Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines, and I'm going with Ohio State. They have had to hear about how Michigan's won the last two and how Coach Day can't win the big one and all the blah, 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 blah. Ohio State's a really good football team. They're a playoff team. So I'm going with the Buckeyes. Penn State's playing Michigan State. Penn State wants to go to a good bowl game, and quite frankly, Michigan State is still reeling from the loss of their coach. So I'm going to go with Penn State on that one. Sorry. Friday in the Pac-12, Oregon is also playing Oregon State. The game is at Autzen Stadium. So I got to go with the Ducks. Honestly, if this was at Research Stadium, I would honestly have to consider picking Oregon State, but it's at Autzen Stadium, so I'm going with the Ducks. Arizona's at Arizona State. I got to see Arizona's facilities earlier. I got to see a game at Arizona State. I think Arizona State needs to give this coach a couple of years. Sorry. But, they're not a bad team, but they've had a really rough schedule. So I'm going with Arizona. So I'm on call this week. I can't talk about my job here per se, but I will tell you this. I'll come up with something interesting for Saturday's video. Not sure what that's going to be, but we'll go from there. Maybe we can talk about, actually, that is a good idea. Let's talk about the bowl. Saturday, we'll talk about bowls. Once all the games have been played, I won't necessarily do a results video. I'll talk about what bowl I think Oklahoma State's going to go to. I'm thinking either Cotton or Alamo. But it really all depends on whether or not Texas gets into the playoff. If Texas gets in the playoff, then Oklahoma State could easily go to the Cotton Bowl. If they don't, the Cotton Bowl will probably want Texas over OSU. And then OSU would most likely end up in the Alamo Bowl. Small chance they'll be in the Pop-Tarts Bowl in Orlando. So that might not be a bad thing because, me personally, my parents live in 45 minutes away from Orlando. So it's like, would I mind going back there and seeing my parents again? Of course, I'd love to see them again. But I'd rather have a bowl game here in Texas. So if you are new, please hit like and subscribe. I do want to thank everybody who watches. And I'm looking at... I don't want to do a big road trip in January. I'm thinking either April or May. Do the Mississippi and Alabama schools and LSU, and possibly do a construction update of the Liberty Bowl. I don't know. I may have to think outside the box and do a trip on my own to the West Coast. I don't know. I do want to thank you for watching, and as always, go Pokes.